What is up, guys? TJ here with Spartacus MMA. We have UFC 298 coming up this upcoming Saturday, and man, that card is absolutely stacked. One of the awesome fights on it is Merab Dvalishvili against Henry Cejudo. I mean, it's just another fight on the card, but I'm really excited for it, and I'm gonna come on here and break the fight down a little bit, give you my thoughts on it. So pulling up Tapology, just the tail of the tape here. Size-wise, these guys are very similar. You know, 5'4" for Henry Cejudo, 5'6" for Merab. Reach is 67.5 for Henry and 68 for Merab. Obviously, they're both going to be weighing 135 pounds for, 3 minutes the day before. I think Merab is the slightly bigger guy, but Henry Cejudo has been competing against bigger opponents his entire life. So let's go. We have it's obviously going to be a strike or a grappler versus grappler matchup, but two very different styles of grappling. Henry Cejudo is an Olympic level freestyle wrestling champion, the absolute top of the mountain. And Merab is just a elite level MMA style grappler. Now, if this was on a wrestling mat, there's no doubt about it. There's not too many human beings at 135 pounds that Henry Cejudo couldn't take down or potentially beat. But this isn't just a wrestling match. It's an MMA fight. And MMA grappling is very different. You don't have to worry about getting kicked in the head or kneed in the head when you're going in for a shot on the Olympic mat like you do inside the cage. So, keys to this fight. Now, the elephant in the room, everyone knows when you're fighting Merab, it's the pace he's going to put on you. It is unlike anything else. There are certain things that certain fighters have that give them, a mystique that you don't see all the time. And one of those things is the pace that Merab Dvalishvili can fight at for sustained periods. This is only a 3-round fight. Both these guys have shown time and time again they're fully capable of fighting for 25 minutes without an issue. But no one has shown the ability to keep up with Merab. If he's not on EPO, then students at Caltech should be studying his body because his cardiovascular system is absolutely unreal. He's going to spam takedowns. Whoever he fights, Merab is not going to just nobody's going to switch everything up at this level of the game. Merab is maybe one win away from a title shot. Cejudo's in a little different position. We can get into that later. But he's not just going to, completely rework some new techniques. He's going to do what he's always done. He's going to shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot until you just can't take it anymore. Then he's going to drag you down to the mat and either try to finish with a submission or ground and pound. Now, what does Henry Cejudo have to do to combat that? Well, he's an Olympic level wrestler, so taking him down isn't going to be that easy. But Henry Cejudo doesn't fight like your traditional wrestler. He has a very bladed, almost karate style stance where his lead front leg is there for the taking. It's not the best stance to have when fighting a grappler like Merab. It is great for doing what it was designed to do, strike. He can move all the way in or all the way out quickly with a nice wide bladed stance. Think of Wonder Boy Thompson taking that big step in, throw that long side kick. Obviously, Henry Cejudo has very short legs compared to Wonder Boy Thompson, but it's the same concept, and that's how Henry Cejudo fights. He likes to fight long, work his opponent up against the cage, and then, shoot his traditional takedown, drag the guy down from there. I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't think he's going to be able to do that against Merab. No one has yet, and at this point in his career, Henry Cejudo is 37 years old. He's coming off a split decision loss against Aljamain Sterling, and before that, he was retired. Now, Merab's no spring chicken. He's 33 years old, too, and he probably deserved the title shot before this, but his best friend and training partner, Aljo, was the champ, and they refused to fight each other, which, okay, I respect. I have no problem with that. But now, now it's time to shit or get off the pot, as they say, for Merab. So he needs to get this done. Now, I don't want to count Henry out because he's shown time and time again that he comes through when everyone is counting him out. I believe he was 21 years old when he won the Olympic gold, and he wasn't even on anybody's radar as far as I understand. Now, I wasn't following, the freestyle wrestling Olympic Games in 2008 or whenever it happened, but from my research, no one even had this kid on their radar, and he came out and win. Then he wasn't supposed to beat Demetrius Johnson, for the UFC title, and he did that. This guy just, he wins when he's not supposed to. He is a winner. But Father Time is undefeated, and he's 37 years old, and this is the 135-pound weight class. So I'm leaning Merab. His MMA grappling is as good as anyone's, even a Olympic level wrestler. Now, while the striking I give to Henry Cejudo, the pace that's the wild card. Merab's gas tank is his best weapon. And I don't think Henry is going to be able to, not that he's going to get tired out in 3 rounds, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep the pace with Merab and be in enough winning scenarios that in the judge's eyes, he did enough to win at the end, if I'm not making that too convoluted. I don't see a knockout on either side. I see this going to the judges. And I see it coming down to, being rather subjective in the end. Well, who do you think did more in the first? I don't know. That second was close. Who do you think? And I think it's going to be that relentless spamming of takedowns, shot after shot, the clinching up against the cage where guys are digging for underhooks and, maybe trying to snatch a single and run the pipe down to the mat. It's going to be these breaking off of that clinch and coming over the top with an elbow, dirty boxing inside. It's going to be these small little exchanges that add up in the end to who is the winner, in my opinion. And I think Merab has that one step ahead type of mentality or pace or aspect to his fighting style that I think is going to get it done for him. When you're in a scrambling situation, a wrestling situation, which, don't get me wrong, Henry Cejudo is no stranger to a scramble by any means. But when you are scrambling with somebody, even though it only lasts a second or two, a lot happens in your head in that moment. And sometimes the inner bitch comes out and you're like, you know what? All right, I'm just going to let this guy have this one. I need to breathe for a second. All right. Okay. Just let him have this double leg. I'll work out of it. It'll be fine. It's not going to end the fight. And some guys overcome that. You overcome that little voice in your head and you say, all right, you know what? Just a little more, just a little more, just a little more. And the next thing you know, you are the guy coming out on top with that double leg. And I think that's going to be Merab in this fight. They're going to get into those scrambles, and he's going to put that pace on, and he's just going to outdog it. Because Well, as I said before, I don't ever want to count Henry Cejudo out. I think this fight means a little more for Merab. He's going to want to dig a little deeper. Henry is already arguably one of the greatest combat sports athletes to ever live. Getting another title would just be another, cherry on top. But he's got a life outside of this. As, you know, he's got a family now. He's taken a role as a coach. I don't know if his heart is going to be in it like I think Merab's heart is going to be in it. And I see it being an awesome fight to watch. I see it coming, possibly even being a split decision. But Merab Dvalishvili getting the W, getting his hand raised next Saturday night, and putting himself right in contention for that next title shot. So, all right, guys, that's my take on that fight. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, go Bills.